Hello, everyone. So in this video, I'd like to talk about this idea of self-care, which is very popular in the inner development, in the therapeutic, and in the mainstream lexicon. And specifically, I want to talk about like the next level of what is possible in terms of self-care. So there's a whole industry out there that is around helping people to discover different ways of creating self-care for themselves. And the whole idea behind self-care is that we're overtaxed, we're in the rat race, there's too much going on, we need to look after ourselves. It's about prioritizing our own needs, which I totally agree with, being able to meet those needs, whether it's about rest or it's about taking a bath, or it's about going for a walk, it's about checking in with ourselves and knowing how to meet the needs of caring for ourselves. So, and the industry is really rife with lots of different lists and workshops and self-care coaches even. And what they do is they help the person to create a lifestyle in which they have activities that are all geared towards taking care of themselves. What I want to talk about, though, is my own discovery in my own spiritual growth, in my own emotional intelligence growth, and in what I am seeing with clients, is that it is actually possible to go beyond what is currently being offered around self-care. So when we are stepping into an activity that is nurturing us, that is soothing for us, we're engaging with this activity, and it's not the actual activity, it's not the actual food that creates comfort. When we eat chocolate, it doesn't inherently create comfort, but something within us is triggered, some kind of inner resource that creates the sensation or the feeling of comfort, of soothing, of nurturance, of relaxation. This doesn't have to be about chocolate, it can be about a bath or laying on the couch or whatever else is out there that we can do to create a sense of self-care. So if it's not the actual object, it's not the actual activity that creates this sensation of taking care of ourselves, then what is it? And what it actually is our ability to connect to an energy that is within our consciousness. An example is, if somebody who was never nurtured in childhood, they never developed the ability to connect to the sense of nurturance within themselves. And so in relationships, they lack the ability to feel soothed by a caring, loving partner. So it's not in the actual person, it's not in the event, it's not in the thing that the person does that creates the sense of caring. It's an internal resource. And so when we get to a deep level of emotional intelligence and a conscious understanding of how this works, it is very possible to draw in those resources or call upon those resources, those energies, without having that activity there, without having the food, without having the person, without laying on the couch. We can literally intend to pull this resource into and through our nervous system when we've done the inner work to be able to do that. And so for me, my self-caring, has really evolved where I can sit down and I can just openly ask the question within myself, what is it that I need? What is it that I long for? And I may get an image, let's say a friend to hug, to cuddle, or I want to just lay down. But then if I ask the deeper question of like, what is that going to get me? If the answer is like, that's going to really soothe my nervous system. So soothing is the resource that I need. And with enough practice and enough inner emotional energetic mastery, I'm able to call upon the resource simply with intention, simply by by intending to have or to call upon or to bring in the soothing resource. And with enough trust around that, I can feel the soothingness begin to rush through my nervous system. And I don't need to go for that cuddle. I can, but I don't need that. I'm not dependent. I'm not codependent on those external activities. So when I work with people around empowering them to be self-reliant, not to be disconnected from others. It's not about being so self-reliant that you're ultra independent and you don't need the world. It's about having choice. I can go and get that resource from someone or from something, or I can choose to get the same experience within my nervous system that I would like to get from that experience or person. And so there's lots of different resistances and blocks that I need to work through with people when I work with them in order to empower them to do this. Quite often there's stuff around, I don't deserve it. It's not within me. It's not possible for me to have that without that thing, person, or place or activity. There's often closure within the nervous system where I'm so numbed out or frozen on some levels that I cannot even feel joy or peace or soothing or nurturance. There's lots of different things, and it's very individual, very uniquely individual, that I work with in people in order for them to be able to do this. And so once I've helped them to work through this stuff, what they get access to is like an inner library of resources. And so when they choose to have nurturance or peace, they can literally go to that library and choose an experience in the past, but it doesn't have to work that way where you have to remember how it looked or how it appeared. You simply know it as a reference by name. Let's say nurturance. Let's say happiness. Let's say bliss. And so then with their intentionality, all they have to do is intend to take that book off the bookshelf. And they begin to live the story in that book as if it was happening to them right now. That bliss comes, that happiness comes, that joy comes. So I'd like to encourage you out there to be conscious of what's possible. And if you feel drawn to this work, my contact links are in the comments below. Reach out and see how I can help you with your emotional and spiritual mastery and maturity, and your ability to have more access to positive states within your life. Thank you. See you next time.